The Radio Guys podcast powered by AA Best Bail Bonds at 210-225-2121. Oficinas throughout San Antonio open 24/7. Stress-free bail bonds at 210-225-2121.
They call me the radio guy. I play Tejano music, it's my high.
The Radio Guys podcast, bringing the Texas lifestyle to life. Nuestra música, nuestra cultura, nuestra tradición. Topics that affect and reflect who we are, whether you live in the Lone Star State, the 49 other states, or anywhere in the world. So welcome, everyone, to the only Tejano State of Mind podcast. And now, here are the Radio Guys, Jonny Ramirez and Mico Rodriguez.
And yes, welcome, bienvenidos. And if you see that there's nobody next to me, homeboy had to work, so it's just yours truly, Jonny Ramirez. Les agradecemos que nos acompañen esta noche. Les invitamos que sigan en sintonía. We got a great show for you tonight, guys. But first and foremost, I have to tell you, welcome to Season 2, Episode 5. And I do want to mention the fellows behind the scene that are always here supporting us and making us look good, especially me, porque estoy más feo que la chingada. But I do want to thank Mr. Gilbert Velasquez, our executive producer, Albert Velasquez, video and technical director, and our social media director, Lexi Rodriguez. Mico Rodriguez out today. He's in North Carolina somewhere. Freezing is behind. Better him than me. But I do want to send a shout out to Mico. All right, tonight, before we get into it, just a couple of house cleaning things. You know, spring break just around the corner. It's the weekend of the 14th, 15th, and 16th of March. A lot of stuff happening downtown, but do want to make mention that there is a brand new event center, the Rodeo Event Center, 2 nights, the 14th and the 15th. And we got a great show coming for you on those 2 nights. And it's $20 a night, or you can buy 2 tickets or a ticket for both nights, what they call wristband, and you can be there all weekend long. But got a great lineup for you, as you can see. Let me put that up again. On Friday the 14th, David Ligarza Los Musicales, Eric y su grupo Mazore, David Farias, and desde el Mágico Valle, the Delta Boys. On Saturday the 15th, got Ram, the Man, Herrera, Mike and the Iconics, La Diferencia, y Los Arcos Hermanos Peña, who have been on the show. Great little conjunto band out of West Texas. Eventmania.com, that's where you get your tickets, eventmania.com. And it's Rodeo Event Center, 1305 410, Northwest Loop 410. If you haven't been there, you need to go. Somebody described it as you walk inside, it's kind of like walking inside the old club there on Fredericksburg Road. Remember that old club? There you go. Yeah, you remember Grams. Anyway, it's a great brand new venue, and let's bust it up and let's just blow it up and make it big time. That is happening, like I said, 14th and 15th of March. This Sunday night, it is a birthday party number, I don't know, because David Ligarza always does his birthday Texas tour, and he's going to be at Thirsty Horse along with Ricardo, La Diferencia, and should be a great night. Now check this out. What makes this night special is that 2 people are walking away with hard cash. We'll have a $2,000 winner and a $1,000 winner. So get your tickets. You can go to it's thirstyhorse.net, get your tickets and tables there, or you can run by Cavender's Boot City, any participating Cavender's Boot City, and get your tickets for this Sunday night. Again, thirstyhorse.net, going to be a great night, and 2 people are walking away with cash. You go, enjoy the show, you get a little buzz going, and then you walk away with cash. What, are you kidding me? I love this country, man. Great country. By the way, the Radio Guys podcast brought to you through the service of AA Best Bail Bonds. Our good friend Albert is great staff. If you happen to fall in some trouble and before you know it, you're sitting in the back of a squad car with new jewelry on, not a problem. Just dial the number 210-225-2121, 210-225-2121. Oficinas throughout San Antonio open 24/7, even on holidays, and they will definitely get you out. And even if you go to a game in Houston or in Dallas, or you're in Chucotown or in my neck of the woods, El Bayuco, they will get you out. 210-225-2121. Nobody beats her price. Payment plans available. And yes, discretion, the name of the game. They will keep that mum because you don't want a world to know that you were arrested over the weekend. Indeed, an honor for me to welcome to the Gilbert Velasquez Recording Studios a couple of guys that I've pretty sure you know. I don't know what the deal with the hats is nowadays. Everybody's wearing hats. I'm like, what the hell is with the hat?
I can't afford it.
I can't afford a hat either. But for a minute there, I thought he was Bo Cephas, Hank Williams Jr., but on the far end there, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Carlito Miranda, and then the other gentleman next to him, of course, Mr. Chris Perez. And guys, primero que todo, thanks for being here, guys. It is an honor to have you guys here, and I know we had talked about this for a while, Carlito, with Metal, and you've been around for a minute, and Chris, you've been around for a minute as well. But thanks for being here, guys. I really appreciate it, man.
No, well, thank you for the invitation, and let me just clarify that the hat is my wig. These are my wigs. Like women have wigs. I have hats. This is my wig.
In other words, you've gotten to the point where you have no hair.
Exactly.
Okay.
People tell me like all the time, like, oh man, you always wear a hat. And I'm like, well, yeah, I got no hair, so this is my hair.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So I switch it up all the time.
Yeah. You notice Chris has no problem with hair, right?
Oh no, my God! Like I'm so jealous of that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Again, thanks for being here tonight, and just going to dive right in, have a bunch of stuff we want to cover tonight.
Awesome.
Obviously, if we can get look at the center of the table there. Chris Perez, I call him the Tejano entrepreneur.
We try.
He dabbles in everything. He, wrote a book. He has a hot sauce. He's got this. Now he's got a wine, and the actual grapes are grown where? In California?
In Lodi, Lodi, California.
Lodi, California, all right? And by the way, I had some, and I'm not a wine guy, but I did like it, okay? So I'm going to have to steal me a bottle. But there it is. It's the new Chris Perez. Can you find this anywhere, Chris?
In Texas, we're getting that done. We'll probably be doing some events real soon where people can get it.
Okay.
Like at HEB?
I don't know. That's how we did the hot sauce thing at first. I don't know. That's a lot of other kind of work.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
because
right now we're kind of
HEB has wine in their stores for the most part.
Yeah, I'd love to. That's my favorite store,
okay.
to be honest.
And by the way, folks, these bottles here do not have a cork. It doesn't make it a MD 2020, okay?
So it's easy to drink.
Yeah, it really is a good wine, and it's one of those wines that you're going to want to keep and just show off to your friends. But I would imagine that the first run, are you going to get a cork for them, or are they all going to be the same way?
I'd like to. The thing with that, what happened was once we got the wine ready to go and I kind of finalized everything, and I wanted to get it out for the holidays, we couldn't get in. There was no corks. And there was one that I could have gotten. There was a cork, but it had somebody else's logo on it.
Yeah,
and I was
make
like,
no sense.
Yeah, just put a cap on it.
Yeah.
For now. But it's we're gonna do some more, different blends, and I mean I'm really having a good time with it, and I'm super proud of it.
Okay. So making some good Jack?
I mean, yeah,
okay.
But I mean, that's always nice, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not the. I mean, you can talk to Carlos about it too. I'm the guy that he's like, all right, how cheap can we make this T-shirt and whatever. I'm like, Carlos, I want, we need to have like shirts that are like super quality. I've always been that guy.
Yeah, you want to be proud of whatever you're selling because you want people to have it. Look, man, you get what you pay for. And if you pay $30 and 25 and the 25 is only going to last 6 months and then you're done with it, what the hell? I might as well buy the $35 to $40 shirt and it'll last me 3, 4, 5, 6 years.
Yeah, and I think people notice that.
Yeah.
I don't think it goes unnoticed. So I'm that's always been my MO whenever I'm doing, like, whether it's the hot sauce or the wine or even the music or the merchandise, things like that. I really do try to put out the best thing that I can. Nice.
But if you get a chance, and I don't know when you plan on start selling this here in Texas, but folks, I suggest it. And like I said, I'm not a wine guy, but I had one. I'm like, oh, damn, Skip.
Yeah,
I may have to switch from tequila to wine right here.
As I mentioned before earlier, we've had a lot of experience drinking some wine.
Yeah,
so this is a very unique and elite bottle of wine. I'm a wine drinker myself. And, for me, when he came out with this thing, I was like, all right, let me give it a shot, whatever. And it was during Thanksgiving. Chris has Thanksgiving at his house, and we go over there every year. And he had his bottle there, and I think it was a prototype at that time or whatever. Yeah. And of course, I brought some bottles of wine, and I had his. And when I went to the wines that I had brought, I took a sip, and I was like, oof.
It was
and they were really good though.
Yeah, and they were very good.
He brought over some good
But it
wine.
was like having Boone's Farm compared to this, right?
I was just kind of like, I did not want to finish. I didn't want to drink the rest of them. And I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, wow, we can cuss on here, right?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Make sure we're not penalizing
no,
anything.
don't worry about it, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Isn't that how the real world talks?
Yeah.
The real world talks that
that's
way,
what it
right?
really
Yeah,
does.
okay, you're good.
So, and when I finished it, I wanted another bottle.
Okay.
So I guess in other words, again, all the years that we've traveled everywhere, LA, New York, different places, we've had some great wine. And, man, he hit it right on there. Like, I was like, wow, this is, and I'm not saying it. He's my brother. You'd have to get it.
Oh, he would tell me if he didn't like it.
If it sucked, I would tell him.
Yeah.
I would tell him.
Yeah, as they say, Carlito no tiene pelos en la lengua. Yeah. If he feels it, he's going to tell you about it, right?
For sure.
So you dabble in so many things, and I know musically, I know that, Metal, you're a big part of Metal. You do a lot of stuff with him, and it always says Metal featuring Chris Perez. And by the way, Carlito how long have you had the group Metal, man?
Man, it started with Selena. Like, it started since 1991, and at that time, it was, Selena Los Dinos, and it was Carlos Miranda Jr. y su grupo, Metal. And so after touring with them for about a good 3 years, and going with La Mafia also for another one, for a couple of years with them, that's when they made my name Carlito, and I became a solo artist.
Now, did they make it, or was that a Sony decision?
It was Mondo Lichtenberger's idea to come up with that. The same thing with Carlos Miranda Jr. Su Grupo Metal. He came from the Quintanilla camp. And but when I got into rock en español, I saw these bands like Maná, La Ley,
right?
Molotov, and I thought Grupo Metal fits right in.
Right.
So it was perfect. So I was blessed with that, to carry that and to have that name today and everything. And it was such an honor to have that name. So I would really say, like, 91's where it began, where it was born, and I'm blessed to have that today. Yeah.
And you're one of the few guys that I would call and say, where are you playing tonight?
Yeah,
because
man.
every so often you just got to get away from it all, right?
Yeah.
And doing Tejano all week and hosting all these Tejano shows and stuff like that. Every Friday or Saturday, every once in a while, I call him up. I go, where you at, dog?
Yeah.
He goes, I'm in Austin in such and such a club. I said,
man.
I see you there, man.
Yeah.
Because it was just very unique.
Yeah.
And look, one of my favorite artists, Neil Diamond, vocally, not that strong, but he wrote all the music in his, key. So he sounded great. Just like that, Carlito, he's not the best vocalist, but he can hang.
Yeah.
But he would always be, first song he'd be playing with the soundboard,
Yeah, man. Yes, you're so right.
He's messing with the soundboard. And my then wife would say, what's he doing? He's trying to sound good. So this is like a practice song, and he's going to go in there. He's going to get everything. And sure, man, you would play some Maná or some, I was like, damn. So kudos to you, because
man.
Everybody, I think if we all focus and work on our strengths, man, that's it, right? There's nothing left.
Yeah, and Carlos has many. I mean, he's, if I'm going to be honest, like if we're talking about Grupo Metal and all that, he handles a lot of the stuff when we go on the road, and the tickets and the hotels and there's just so much more that comes along with it. He's really good at that. And on stage, I mean, he's an amazing front man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As far as his energy goes and keeping the crowd going and bringing everybody into the, I mean, it which makes him a lot more comfortable for me because I'm more the, I kind of hang in the back.
Yeah, you like to hang back. You just, man, Chris just like to play the guitar, man.
Yes, sir.
What you got? No, see the guy in the hat, okay?
yeah. No, for real. That's how we do it.
No,
Yeah.
he's my Richie Sambora, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He's my Richie Sambora.
All right, guys. Yeah, I mentioned this, off mic earlier. I guess we're coming into that time of the year where a lot of the Quintanillas, and you included, try and stay out of the public eye for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But for you, and I did not know this until you mentioned it, I guess it's kind of like a double whammy, right?
That time of year,
Yeah.
March 31st, when everything happened with Selena,
Right.
and then 2 days after that, which is April 2nd, would have been our anniversary wedding, or
Right.
when we took off and got married.
Yeah.
That was on April 2nd of 1992. So she passed away in March 31st of 1995. So
yeah.
we're 2 days shy of a 3-year being married for 3 years. But we were together before that.
Right.
It's just,
I don't know about you guys, but I can't fathom it's 30 years ago, dude. It just doesn't seem like 30 years.
no, not at all.
It seems like yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you the story, and I swear that soon after that, we had all this stuff and everything was going on in the news. I had a dream, okay, that Selena hadn't passed, that she made it out, and that much like Elvis, she went into hiding, Wow. And I was like, nah, there's no way, man. There's no way.
That's crazy, yeah.
Because how the rumors persist about Elvis still
Yeah.
being alive and that he hides out, and I'm sure you've heard him, Gilbert, right? Elvis was at the donut shop getting donuts.
He was here yesterday, man. You guys missed him.
Oh, he was here yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but I
He
mean,
recorded a
Gilbert would know.
cumbia.
he recorded a cumbia.
That'd be pretty cool, actually.
He recorded "Love Me Tender" al estilo
Yeah.
cumbia.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, you hear those rumors and you see pictures that could look like him and stuff like that, and you're going, "There's no way." And I had that dream, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't know how that happened because I didn't drink anything last night, so I don't know what happened." But it really is surreal, the fact that she really is gone. A.
Yeah.
And then B is that it's been 30 years, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, every now and again I'll have some weird ones. This one that keeps popping up every now and again is like kind of similar to what you're talking about, but I'm at a gig with my band, and she comes back. No, and I'm backstage, right, walking around. I'm walking in my green room, and there's other green rooms, and I walk by a doorway, and I see her inside there, and I can't go in there. I just keep walking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is?
Yeah.
It's just the strangest thing.
Yeah, it's kind of surreal, It's, I just, Chris had an interview with the LA Times.
Right.
And he had hit me up and said, "Hey, man, did the LA Times call you?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Yeah, well, they're going to reach out to you, And
They want to make sure I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to back it up. Anybody?
Wait.
That's what
They're
we call
talking
him.
to you, and they want to make sure you're telling the
I
truth.
forgot.
It was really weird, right?
I forget there's a professional term for it.
Right.
Whatever.
like
Fact
a
checking. It's
fact
called
check,
fact
I guess,
checking.
like a
Something
fact
like
check,
that,
So you're being
something of that
transparent.
nature.
No, you gotta check your facts. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I received the call, and I happened to know the guy. I happened to know who he was from an award show that we went to in LA at the Imagen Awards, and where I got to meet Norman Lear in LA. And afterwards, I got to hang out with this guy, and he worked for Billboard. And so he was doing the story in the LA Times. And what was kind of weird is that I had thought about him, previously. And when Chris had mentioned to me, I was like, holy shit. I'm like, all right, cool. So then, it's really weird because sometimes you go down this list of just people got this blueprint of the questions they're going to ask. Mm-hmm. This guy really asked, in particular, just about Chris solely.
Right.
And it was like he was wanting me to understand, I'm not trying to find out anything about him and Selena. It's just about Chris.
Right.
And I was just like, man. And I was like, well, about time. You know what I mean? I'm like, because I'll never know what it's like to know him or her through these lenses that the world sees them as.
Yeah.
You know, I knew them personally. I knew him before then.
Right.
So it was just one of those things that I'll never know. I'll put it in this terms. I'll never know what it is to be a fan.
Yeah.
You know?
All I know is that I'm going to collect on 2 bottles of Avion tequila because a good friend of mine, we went to college together. Ooh, big whoop. But he called me and he's going, hey, man, what's such a big deal? I'm going, what's the big deal? I said, look, knucklehead, you're a freaking Elvis fan. Every year, Elvis, his death and his birthday are celebrated ceremoniously. I said, she was that. She was Elvis. She was Janis Joplin. She was the guy from The Doors, Jim Morrison. She was Jimi Hendrix. She was all of those in one.
Yeah.
She was as big as they will ever be to us
Yeah.
Tejanos. You have to understand that. And he's a Tejano dude, but he wasn't big into Tejano music, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And he's going, it just doesn't make any sense. I said, to you it doesn't, dude. I said, you eat French fries and mayonnaise. What the hell is that all about, And he busted up laughing. And he's going, nobody's going to remember 30 years. I'm going, dude, you are so wrong. Because
even bigger now.
Her name just grows by leaps and bounds. Her music, her popularity with children, dude, that weren't even a gleam in their daddy's eyes when she passed. Those children now love her music.
Oh.
And he was like, okay, dude, you're right. I said, yeah.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? If you're not coming to San Antonio, just overnight me my bottles. I'll be good. And he's going, you're going to collect? I'm going, hell yeah, I'm going to collect.
Yeah, no, I mean, she, it's kind of surreal, I mean, like everywhere that we've gone, all around the United States, all I can think about is she's from Texas. Mm-hmm. That's it. Once I saw her everywhere, I'm like, wow. And the term that I came up with the LA Times is that she was a homegirl. You know what I mean? Like that I could honestly say that she was the most normal person, as everyone should be. Mm-hmm. She loved to dance. She loved to laugh. And not only that, she was good at what she did, singing, the way, what she wore. Like she owned it, But at the end of the day, she was just a normal homegirl.
Right.
Yeah.
And my respect for her grew by leaps and bounds when she took it upon herself to learn Spanish, the proper Spanish, not the Tex-Mex stuff that we speak here, And I was like, damn, okay.
Yeah. And I believe that because she gave me, it was these 12 cassettes that were in this. You would open it up and it had this book and, to learn Spanish,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have it to this day,
yeah.
That she gave it to me. I mean, because, she would give me these ideas and try to prep me up for what, maybe was going to happen, And I appreciate that. But not only that, I just saw her being the normal girl. Like
Next
when
door.
I see people trying to be divas,
yeah.
And I try to see, even men trying to, and I'm like, I always compare him. I compare it to other artists that I know. And then with her, I'm like, if they didn't act like that,
right.
Why are you acting like that?
Yeah.
It was just a blessing in disguise. And I call them my universities. I called Selena a university. My dad was in university. La Mafia was in university.
Yeah.
Chris was in university. And I was just blessed to be a part of that.
And by the way, for those of you that are wondering, yes, Carlos Miranda, El Minero, was his father.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the time that we got you and him to perform
man.
at Sunset Station.
Yes.
That was a kick-ass event, man. It was so cool. You and him on stage, and he was loving it, and you were like a little lapdog. That's right, my daddy.
Hey, you know what, Johnny? I can't thank you more enough for that because I'll never forget that you were like, you know what, we're going to do this Father Day event. I would like you to be a part of that. My dad already had cancer. Mm-hmm. Man, it lit him up.
Yeah.
It lit him up to be a part of something of that.
And it was a Father's Day event.
Yeah.
I had you, and then I had David Lee, and David Lee's son,
No, it was Roberto Pulido and Bobby.
But David Lee's son, David was there, and David Lee's son brought the old accordion that he had, redone because it was an old Honer and he anyway. But yeah, it was Bobby and Roberto, and then you guys. But it was like that, those cool moments in time. Because, dude, believe it or not, your dad, when I was growing up, with the Latin Breed Band.
That's right.
I was like, I told my camarada, because we had the Latin Breed stuff, we had the Little Joe stuff, then Carlos Miranda, Piquito de Oro and all that. Yeah. And then I was like, dude, is that the Latin Breed Band? And we're over there reading the liner notes. Yeah. And sure enough, man, it was the Breed. It was such a great album, dude. But those little moments in time, those time capsules, man, they're always, you remember them forever and ever.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, to know who my dad was, right? Selena falls in that, because, everybody would talk about him, but I'm like, well, he was just my dad. Yeah. Same thing with Selena. Like, whoa, she's just my friend. Like, I didn't see what everybody saw, because they were so natural at it, I'll never forget, again, thanks to you, when we did Junta Tus Garras. Chris was the engineer for that. And I have video of that session of Chris recording my dad. And Chris is like, awesome, Chris was like, is there tequila around here? Like, because I really need a shot right now.
It was, man, those were good times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good times, obviously things happen, people change, we have to move on. Musically, for you, Chris, the good times have continued with the Chris Perez project, right? Is that what you call the band?
Yeah, the band. Okay. Yeah, Chris Perez Band.
Okay, the Chris Perez Band. And you actually won a Grammy in, 99? Or 2000?
Yeah, for the first record
for
we
Resurrection,
did.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And now you're doing that with your band, you're with Metal, and every so often I see you guys pop up with a gentleman by the name of Louis the Singer. Yeah. A little chicanito dude, but he's
badass.
Well, he's a cross between a cholo from the West Side and a kicker hat, because he's all tatted up with the wife beater shirt. Well, I shouldn't say that now because it's more of a muscle shirt, because of domestic violence. My apologies to the ladies, but yeah, the Louis the Singer, and you do so much stuff. How do you find time to? And then you're entrepreneur and everything. How do you find all the stuff or the time to do all that stuff?
Look. Without hesitation, I'll say it's the crew that I have. Carlos, Bobo, it's just everybody that I work with. We all have a vision and we push towards it, and I do the same thing. So there is no way that I'd be able to do all the things that I do without the crew that I have. That's the most important thing. And you take any one of them out of it, it's like taking a leg off of a chair. Okay. You know what I mean? And so it's a lot of work, I'm not going to lie, but whatever it is that we're working on, I know I have the help of my guys, and we all work together to get it done. And I'm just constantly meeting so many cool people out there. Like with the wine thing, the way that happened, I was doing a show with my band in Los Angeles at the Greek Theater. Right. And we were playing there, and there was a guy that had called wanting me to do a meet and greet event, but it was for the hot sauce. Okay. So, whatever channels he had to go through, he did them, whatever. And the next thing I know, on my schedule, I have this event while I'm out there in Los Angeles. So I go do the event, and this guy owns an amazing place, like meat market and just different things. Right. And he's a wine guy, right? Okay.
I think it's connoisseur.
Connoisseur. He's a wine. I mean, he like, we were actually, it was crazy. It was such a weird week out there, but awesome. It's like surreal. We're staying in the house that Orson Welles used to live in. Oh. Yeah, dude. It was an Airbnb, believe it or not, but it was Orson Welles' old house. Wow. And it was a big one with a back house and a swimming pool, and I didn't get to spend any time there other than sleep because I was busy doing interviews and getting ready for this.
So it was more than $149 a night, right?
A little bit. I would imagine. I didn't see the bill. I didn't see the bill, but I'm pretty sure it was up there. But I mean, it was big enough for the whole band and their significant others or whatever, whoever had one, to stay there. You know what I mean? We had a great time, but that was when I met my boy Al. Al came, after we did the event, he and I hit it off, the meet and greet. Right. And then we were sitting at a table and we started talking about wine. And I was like, hey, what would it take, like, if I wanted to. And that's where the conversation started. And he started kind of laying it out there for me. And then he became really, like, as far as that project, the wine project, he became my right-hand guy. He was the one that I bounced everything off of. He was the one that helped me get it to where I wanted to get it.
Now, when it comes to the wine and the hot sauce, are you a hands-on guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. For sure. Like if I don't approve it, it's not going to come out. If I don't, and I make suggestions. But at the same time, like, I also listen to some of the people that I have around me.
Okay.
And sometimes I don't listen to them.
Okay.
But
Okay.
a lot of the time it's like, okay, we're talking about the wine. I know he knows what's up. And I would say, well, I don't know about this blend. And then they would describe if we're using a 3 grape blend, they would tell me, well, this is the one grape that's giving you that tart that you don't like. Okay, we'll cut back on that, or let's use a different whatever. So we go through that whole process and just eventually get to it's done.
Now, for those wine connoisseurs, I had some, and like I said, I'm not a wine drinker, but it's not too dry and it's not too sweet. It's somewhere smack dab in the middle where you do get the flavors of the grapes. I'm like, okay, I can
It's a
handle
perfect
that.
wine. I mean, I'm a cigar smoker, and I like my cigars to be bold.
Okay, Bocephus.
yeah. We use a cigar, whiskey.
Cigar,
okay,
whiskey,
all right.
and wine, and it's right up there. So I'm like, it's perfect. Now I got the Crispetta's wine. I got my Uncle Nearest whiskey, and I got my Arturo Fuente. Arturo Fuente cigar.
Now, the only thing you need to come up with now is that tequila, okay? And I would go for that. But so with the wine, you're a hands-on guy, but not a patas-on guy. You didn't step on the grapes, right? You didn't stomp the grapes.
I wanted to, bro, but they don't do
Lucille
that.
Ball.
If they would have let me, I would have done it. But they're like, nah.
See, because if you would have told me, I stomped on the grapes, okay, I'm going to pass on this, okay?
Yeah, right.
I'm
I
gonna
would
pass,
too.
okay?
No, but the process, dude, was amazing. Like, everything is machines now, and just the way they do it. And I didn't know that. I thought you think grapes, wine, they're grapes like the ones you get from HEB, and you can.
No,
they're not like
negative,
that.
sir.
Yeah, I got some first time I went, and I was like, what the heck?
Yeah,
but it's all part of the learning process, and I'm super excited about it. They're not in Texas yet.
Okay,
there's like 5 states because of legalities, we'll call it.
Yeah,
it's alcohol.
Our stupid alcohol laws here in Texas. It's kind of like, are you kidding me, man?
But we're gonna do the Smokey and the Bandit kind of style. So we're gonna make it.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
He's dressed for it.
And Gilbert, thumbs up, thumbs down on the wine, because you said you're
Gilbert,
not a wine
come
drinker.
on.
Yes, it's good. Honestly, yes. I'm not a big wine drinker, but hey,
Now
it's
your
good,
lady drinks wine, right?
Yes, Deborah said.
Shout out to
Love it.
Deborah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Deborah.
Hi, Deb.
We gotta let Deb know that Gilbert's taking you a
bottle.
full bottle.
Yes.
Just for
A
you.
full bottle.
He can't have any.
Yes. And so long as somebody's not hanging from the chandeliers in the morning, everybody's good. Okay.
Yeah.
That could happen. Yeah.
That can happen. All right. So you continue your life. You got a couple of kids now, right?
Yes. I have my son's going to be 20. My daughter is going to be 26.
How?
26.
27
this year.
And see, when you say 20-year-old son, the son of one hell of a guitar player, you're thinking that's the one that's going to gravitate towards the guitar. You would think wrong. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My and you know what? But the thing is, I think it's super cool. Is my daughter is an amazing guitarist, singer, piano player, and 99.9% of what she's learned has been on her own.
Really?
Other than watching me, of course.
Like her father.
Right, but she sings way better than I do, by the way. Anyway,
you notice he didn't dispute that fact, right?
No, it's true. But the thing is, and she wanted nothing to do, she's seen what I have to go through, and it's not, I love what I do enough to deal with what comes along with it, right? I mean, I think most of us, if we had the choice, would do that. She was like, nah, no thanks, Dad. I'm cool. She just really does it for the joy of doing it. And I find that, and it's very useful for me because it reminds me of why I do it.
Right.
But we were talking about this earlier, but being in the business and the dealings that go on with that. And sometimes, especially in my younger days, the trappings that come along with all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's you can kind of not be so focused on your, in my case, guitar playing or songwriting or anything like that, because you start doing other things, right? That kind of get in the way. But to when she was born and to see her go through all that and see how she plays and why she does it and to see her face when she's playing it, I mean, it's a reminder to me, like, oh,
right.
yeah, that's why you got into it. Don't get caught up in all that other stuff. And it's easy to do because you got everybody, if you wanted, they're giving you anything you want.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, if I'm being honest, I went through, some of that stuff, and it's like one day you turn around and you realize, like, wait, what happened to what was really important?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not this stuff. So, yeah, I mean, she's like my little
temporary.
touchstone.
Yeah, the stuff is temporary, man. The high, if it's a high, it's temporary, man.
Yeah.
What you've learned, what you do with the guitar, that's going to be forever.
Yeah.
You know?
And you got to put work into it.
Yeah.
You can't just not. And what's weird is, like, I of course, growing up, that's all I did was play guitar, right? And then you start getting into the business, and then there's different aspects that come in, so they take up your time. And then plus you just want to grow as a musician, so it's not just about the guitar playing anymore. It's about the songs you might be writing, or the production aspect of it, or arrangements, or other people you want to work with. All that came into play, so you kind of have to balance. Right? It's not just 100% guitar playing anymore, which is another thing we were talking about earlier. Is like why I consider being in Selena's band with her was like the ultimate gig for me.
Right.
Because I didn't have to deal with anything else but playing guitar.
Right.
And recording guitar in the studio to these amazing songs that AB, who I consider to be a visionary, was coming up with. And,
right.
That was like the ultimate thing. I didn't have to do interviews. Selena would do them.
Right.
You know what I mean? The travel, it was all fun because I'm hanging out with my boys and her, of course.
Right.
So that was the ultimate gig. And then having to navigate through all the craziness afterwards.
Right. I've heard you speak on that many, many times. And for those people that don't know, Chris actually got his start with Shelly Lattice, right?
Oh, yeah.
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 And how long did you play with Shelly, actually?
God, man, when you're that young, you really don't have a concept of
That's
it.
because you have a lot of it ahead of you, right?
It feels like maybe it was around 2 years.
Okay.
And that was a funny, like the whole thing started for me because of her cousin who was in her band and asked if I would join the band. And then little did I know where everything was going to lead. You know what I mean? I just kind of, I enjoyed playing with her, super talented. We wrote a couple of songs together, ended up on her first record, I think it was. I don't remember. But that was my foot in. And actually, she's the one that would show me Selena records, right? Before Selena was signed to Capitol. This was long, I don't know when that was, late 80s maybe.
Right.
And
was she with Cara, Gibby?
Yes, she was.
Yeah, with Cara Records. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I remember the album titles were, one was Preciosa and one was Dulce Amor. And those are my first two. And I learned everything off of those records only because I thought they were cool. And I know Shelly wanted a certain kind of aspect of that sound in, to move it along. So little did I know, right?
Yeah.
Where that was going to end up.
Right.
And then when AB came, and I guess AB heard about me and wanted to get me in the Dinos, and it was like just seamless because I already knew all the songs.
Right. And, there's a lot of bands, like Maz, they have that recognizable keyboard synthesizer sound, from the homeboy from Paso del Águila, Brando Mireles.
Brando Mireles. He's bad.
Right.
Yeah.
And to some extent, I think when you joined Selena y Los Dinos, your guitar was as recognizable as Brando's keyboards for Maz. You could it was distinct. Being a guitar player, Gilbert, would you agree with that?
Well, everybody has their own distinct voice, right?
Right.
And some are very much more noticeable than others. But yeah, you're right about that.
Well, you know what the thing about it too, I think Gilbert will agree, is like, and I'm not saying it because he's here, you know what I mean? But like, because there's also Roger Garcia, who was a guitar player before me, and Selena. There's Jesse Ibarra, who was a guitar player before me. I had done some work at Gilbert's studio with other artists or whatever, and I got to see him, and you know what I mean? But so when I came in, I had all that I had already, like, I got to like build on. Okay. You know what I mean? It's not just me, it's them. It's like, what's that saying about standing on the shoulders of giants?
Right.
You know? And to me, a giant doesn't have to be somebody who's selling millions of records. It has to be somebody who touches you,
right,
who inspires you, and makes you want to be better than you are. You know, and you see it. And when you see it, you know it's possible. And these guys are like within arm's reach. They're not like on a record somewhere. You're never going to meet them, or on a stage 100 rows back. You know what I mean? Watching it like that, it's like we're like swimming in the same water.
Okay.
And me being 16, 17, 18, I mean, that meant everything to me.
Okay.
So you're saying back then we were doing something there with what's his name, Tiger Diaz. You remember that recording?
That was one of them. We had also done some stuff with Shelly.
Yeah, during that window of time there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I remember being terrified with this dude.
With Gilbert?
Yeah, because
before
I met him, because I had heard stories about how, hey, if he doesn't, I had heard story. The one in particular was like, if he doesn't like what you're doing, he's gonna take the guitar away and go like, give me that, like. You know what I mean? And
he's probably done it in a couple of instances, yeah.
Well, that was the rumor that was going around, and so you know
Who
what?
said that?
It was out there, bro. It was out there. It was that. Trust me, I'm not making this up. And then you know what happened though? You know what happened? One of the times we were working together, and I was recording something, and he's looking at me, and he goes, "I doubt you remember this." And he's looking at me, and I'm feeling him looking at what I'm doing, and I'm like, "Oh crap," you know what I mean? And then we stopped, and he goes, "Let me see." And he took the guitar, and I go, here we go.
Oh, man.
But you know what it was? No, it was super cool. What you did was you showed me, like, look, why don't you try this? Or why don't you try that? Whatever.
No, I remember that.
You remember? And then
it was a
G9
G9 chord.
I
You were
don't
playing this inversion.
Says
And I
the
said,
guy
"Try this."
who we took to go see Carlos Santana in Las Vegas. And we're right there. And Gilbert turns to Chris, "Did you hear Carlos play that wrong note?" I was like, oh my God! It is true. It is true.
No, but he ended up helping me way more than he would ever know until maybe right now. But like what I saw him do, I never forgot it.
So his way of approaching wherever you wanted to go was easier than what you were trying.
It sounded more legit.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Because up to that point, I only really knew one way, kind of, I guess that's the right way to play or to say it, Tejano music. And then now you got this dude who had already, I believe at that time, Breaking All the Rules had come out.
Oh, that was a monster album,
man. I put my headphones on and listened to that thing, and I'm like, what in the hell is he doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These chords. And when I saw him do it, I was like, I got you now. I know what you're doing, dude.
Gilbert hates that. He hates
it.
that you figured it out.
No.
He hates it.
It's all good.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Right. So, Carlito, you get this one record deal with Sony, and that was pretty much all it was one record deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, you know, I really had nothing to do with it. I didn't know where I was going.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was trying to do. I just wanted to be in the scene, you know. Being with Selena, those Dinos, I just wanted to be in the scene. Then I'm with my icons. I'm with the Rolling Stones of the industry, and I get to do that. I really didn't I mean, when I think about it now, I'm like, how am I going to outdo La Mafia? How am I going to outdo Selena's Dinos?
People have been trying for 45 years and 40 years, and still neither one of them have been outdone.
There's no way. I need to get out of this genre, and I need to figure this out. And, you know, like what you were saying earlier about you're in this Tejano scene, and then you find this outlet. that's kind of like what happened with me going to Planeta Mexico. When I got to there, I was just like, what is this?
Right.
It was its own little world that no one really knew about. It went from cowboy hats and Wranglers to Versace, Hugo Boss, to Armani.
The Ozo Motley, the Maná covers that you do, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm digging
well,
it.
I gravitated to that. I was like, okay, so this is a different type of cumbia.
Right.
You know, and they were hitting all the genres of Mexico.
Right.
Boleros. And my dad, listening to all his albums, there was not one genre that he did not hit.
Right.
It was bolero, conjunto, ranchero, orquesta, cumbia. It was like
even valses back then, they were big. When your dad was coming up in the industry, man, there were so many other, little, and
mariachi.
Now,
even at that. So there wasn't one thing that he could not do that I was just like, wow, man, so there's where I kind of found where I fit in. And when I got into Planeta Mexico, they were looking, there was no cover bands at that time. And I got that opportunity. And I'm not going to lie, I did it because there was a lot of beautiful women hanging around that area.
Yeah, that's why I got into radio.
Dude, I was just thinking that he's going to say it.
Yeah, but
I'm going to say it.
Yeah, but that's why I got into radio. But see, it was like, I have a chance if they never see my face, okay? All right, so where is Metal now? Are you still doing that?
Yeah.
Are you trying to find, an area, musically speaking? Because honestly, your genre of music is not recognized in today's radio world, at least here in Texas.
Correct. And I'm glad that you're saying that because that's a true fact. Metal decided to go original. I had these songs that I had worked with Gabriel Zavala, who's a great producer who's worked with many artists all across the board. And, Zavala came to Madison Avenue. And he came up to me and said, hey, man, I'd like to work with you.
Okay.
And when he said that, I was like, okay, great. Here's somebody different that I don't know about with the band that I had, because I had an all-star band. I always carried people that came from something, and when I got to work with them, I mean, he understood where I was coming from, and whatever I needed, he could do it, you know? And it was within minutes. It wasn't hours. It wasn't, it was like that. And that's when I thought, wow, okay, here we go. Listening back to all that, it's so different from then to now, because when I had decided working with Chris and getting all these opportunities and being in LA and being in New York and meeting everybody from Emilio Estefan to Benny Medina with J-Lo, I had access to everybody.
Right.
And I kind of was like, what could I do?
Started dressing like Emilio.
Yeah, I did. Only when I got to Miami.
He did.
Only when I got to Miami, I did. Only when I got to Miami, I wanted, just watching this man, and, he took me under his wing. And it went from like, he was working at an LP company, and just the way he got himself to get Gloria in front of Sony and all those types of things. I just kind of gravitated to all of that and utilizing of like, okay, I was watching everybody, La Mafia, Selena, Chris, everybody, Juanes, Maná, all these types of things. And I was like, because I consider myself as a consumer.
Right.
I love Tejano music.
Right.
I loved it. I loved La Sombra. I loved La Fiebre, La Mafia. It was just all of that. And I didn't like where the direction it was going, and once it went there, I wanted to get my own sound like everybody else had.
Okay.
But I thought that was a long shot. And working with Chris, and getting all the experiences that I had, I knew that once I got into the recording studio, I already handpicked who I wanted.
Right.
Along with what me and Gabriel had created.
Okay.
And trust me, even at that, I was like, maybe it's gonna work and maybe it's not. Well, once it did, when I got it done, and I happened to be at the right place at the right time, whose name is Hector Crone, who works with Marcos Antonio Solis and Los Bookies. And I got a meeting with this guy. And trust me, I was even nervous to show him what we had created. Because I wasn't that confident going into Los Angeles and dealing with all these artists that are around. It reminded me back of the Tejano days.
Right. Except that ocean is a lot bigger and the fish are a lot.
Right.
Those are sharks.
Yeah, but Carlos got to, he got to experience it without having to deal with it.
Right.
When he would go with me.
Right.
And we have this analogy I like to use where I'm like, dude, Carlos is like, it's a fishing analogy. It's like if I can just put him on the end of the hook, throw him out there. I stay home on the sofa, watch TV, have a little bit of my wine, whatever. And when I reel him in, he comes back with all these fish coming out to the bait. You know, he that's his personality. He likes being out there. He likes being, in the middle of it. And it's like, hey, well, where's Chris? Oh,
Homeboy likes to work it.
Yeah, so he got to see all that, and now that he gets to do it and represent himself in the way that he gets to do it, I mean, he's really educated at it.
Well, I heard an interview, you guys, and both of you called yourselves Tejanos. And I like the fact that, people say Tejano and everybody thinks, okay, Selena, David Lee, Mas, La Mafia, all those. And yeah. But you guys put it into where we are Tejanos, and we love, to me, a Tejano loves to consume all kinds of music. And Gilbert, you're with me there, right? We love it all, right?
Oh, yeah, man.
Okay. I mean, we can turn around and listen to James Brown and then come around and listen to a Bobby Pulido and then go back and listen to a Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And yes, I'm referencing old bands because I'm an old, Yeah. And then we can go back and listen to David Lee and then maybe some Stevie Ray Vaughan. For sure. All of it, man.
100%.
It's all, every genre has great musicians, great artists.
Yeah.
And as Tejanos, we love to consume it all.
Yeah.
I'm never going to think that Tejanos are narrow-minded, that they only want to hear their music, because every nightclub you go to, they'll play country songs and they're out there dancing. They'll play some R&B and they're out there shaking what their mama gave them. It's all good because it's all good music. At the bottom of it all, our heart, nuestro corazón, through our venas, es Tejano, obviously. But, you guys are creating your sound. You've got Chris to help you out every so often. Chris, you've had success by yourself. So I'm glad that you guys painted a different picture of Tejano, because you said, we're Tejanos, man, because you are Texas boys.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even run down the list of how many people I've, that are Tejano acts that I've been asked to, would I consider playing guitar on a track. And nowadays you can do that out of our home studio. So there's so many that I've done because I love being a part of it still. It's not like I'm just doing these other things, I mean, I've worked with other artists, MDOs and the Travis Barkers and the rock people and Cheap Trick, and I've done all that and it's awesome, you know what I mean? And it elevates me. But I also have a special place in my heart for Tejano music, and I think one of the last things that was really out there was I did a duet with Signal, play guitar on a song, and that was a lot of fun. I love those guys. They're super cool with me.
The times you jump on stage with the Kings, AB and the
I recorded on every Kings record, every All Stars record. I did them all. I was on tour with my band, but we would coordinate. AB would say, hey, can you come and record? I'd come into Q. I'd see Familia. I'd be there with Abraham and Suzette and Ricky Vela. And, so I've always been around when I can. I do other things, and some people don't realize that, that I'm here.
Right.
I
call San Antonio home.
Although you were calling New York their time home for a time,
New York and LA.
The Big Apple.
Well, I mean, if you live in two places.
I miss New York so much.
Get this dude. Yeah, we could drop him off in the middle of Manhattan, and we did. And then he would disappear for the whole day. It's like, where's he at? We got to check on him, man.
I was a sponge, I wanted to learn everything that I could, and, I think my creativity comes from AB. I saw what he did with Chris. I saw what he did with a lot of different artists, and I mean, I got to see that, and so with me, Chris and Zavala, they work with a lot of people, and for me, I was like, if you're going to work with those guys, you better get what you can out of them.
Right.
And that's what I did.
Yeah.
I was like, if I want to do an orquesta, I'm going to call Gilbert Velasquez. Because he's going to understand what I'm looking for in orquesta, especially if I'm going to speak of my father.
Man, it would be a great tribute to your dad if you did a song with the Latin breed, man.
Oh, man. Yes. I mean,
I'm down.
I can make that happen.
Like, yes,
see? And
sure.
he just said he could make that happen.
Yeah, of course. Gilbert's my boy.
Man, well, seriously, what a great tribute to your dad, you know.
I
El
mean,
Minero Carlos Miranda, Juezu with the breed, and I was like, damn, that was just, to me, it blew my mind when I heard it, and I was just a little kid in high school in the Rio Grande Valley, and I heard that, and I was going, damn, this is it, man. This is the stuff, right here.
Yeah, and and to see what my father, where he came from, from Mexico.
Yeah.
Who knows those hurdles to get to the U.S., and to create a living. So me being here in the United States and getting the opportunity, I never understood why I got those opportunities. But when I did, I absorbed everything I could. From Selena, Oscar, Mondo, Chris, Aby, Mr. Q, Oscar's brother Henry, Gonzalez, my father, my mother, everybody from Cornelio Reina. I mean, my God, I was in that Mecca, I was there.
So now both of you, every so often, hook up, Metal. You've got a brand new project that is out. You've released a couple of singles. Is this going to be what they call an EP, just on the digital outlets out there?
Yeah, it's a 5-track EP.
Platforms?
We got 5 songs that we recorded that are done. They just got to be mixed and mastered. We came up with Volaré that happened in August of 2024.
Right.
And we just released La Flor in February 14th on Valentine's Day. And we have the rest that are going to come out for the rest of the year. Metal has been that one project that just consistently just keeps increasing on the graph.
Okay.
We've been more of an out-of-state band than anything else than within our own state of Texas.
Right. Well, I mean, I saw you guys here in Texas when we did that thing back in March. Was it March, April? Up in Mesquite?
Oh, yes. Yes, that's right. That's right.
With
Signo and Jennifer Peña and all them, Gary Hobbs.
Yeah, Gary Hobbs.
Marcos Antonio Solis. I mean,
Marcos Antonio. Marcos Orozco, perdón.
Yeah, there you go.
And the Conjunto Band, the guys that dress up
the
in
Crazy
Pachuca.
Pimps.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm going to play this here. This, again, you released it last August.
Correct.
It seems like you went back and you got some background footage and
this
you created
was the opportunity that we got to debut our 5-track EP at the Besame Mucho Festival in Austin, Texas at the Circuits of America.
Okay, I believe it's coming back this year too.
Yes, we will be there again.
There you go. All right, this is Metal, Carlitos and the band, so just enjoy.
¿Qué está pasando en esta cruel guerra que estás peleando? Es una guerra que nunca podrás ganar. Ay, madre, no llores de tristeza, como esa niña llena de inocencia, llorando por su padre que no volverá. Y como un ángel bajaré, extenderé mis alas, volaré, y como un ángel cuidaré, tu ángel de la guarda yo seré. Escucha. Oye, hermano, ¿por qué estás luchando? Sin saber por quién estás matando, cuánta sangre inocente vas a derramar. Ay, madre, no llores de tristeza, como esa niña llena de inocencia, llorando por su padre que no volverá.
Wow.
There you have it, Carlito Miranda and Metal
Wow.
with Chris Perez featuring Chris Perez. Is that fun wailing on that guitar like you do there?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. I mean, that's the thing is like with Metal, again, Carlos does a lot of the thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that I get to just kind of slide in and do like, I give my input, I do what I do, and that's it, which is the funnest. I mean, that's why I do all the other things that I do. You know what I mean?
Again, he's my Richie Sambora.
Okay. So if you don't mind, this doesn't have a video, but it's you can find it again, all the platforms. I'm sure Apple, Spotify, all of them.
All
okay.
of them.
This one's called La Flor, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is the second single that was released about a week and a half ago.
On Valentine's Day.
On Valentine's Day. All right. Here it is. It's about a minute long, just so you can get a taste. That is their latest single, La Flor. That is Metal. Again, you can find their EP on all the digital platforms out there. Guitar playing. You and I talk about every time, you have a new guitar player, Johnny, or is it the same old guys? And
Yeah.
I was thinking about this because, every time we always get into this conversation. And I think there's a lot of great guitar players out there. But I have to give it to the guys that started this. The Eddie Van Halens of the world, the Eric Claptons, the, Jimmy Pages, the Jimi Hendrix of the world. I mean, those guys, it's kind of like when you talk, about accordionists. There's a lot of great accordionists, but there was only one whacked out gentleman, Esteban Jordan en paz descanse, who really took that instrument and moved it above everybody else. And these guys, were around in the early days, and they were trying things, and some things worked, I'm going to assume, and some didn't. But, I mean, who would you say that you pattern your guitar playing more after? Or is it you took bits and pieces from everybody? I know Eddie Van Halen's your all-time favorite.
I took bits and pieces from everybody. It goes from Eddie Van Halen, Jakey Lee, Neil Schon, Richie Sambora,
Carlos Santana
for sure. It was a dream come true to get to jam with him on stage in Corpus and his band. There's just so many different people for different reasons. But we were talking about this earlier. I know the people that are listening, they're not going to know this, but we were talking about Jimi Hendrix.
Right.
And I can only imagine what that sounded like to hear it for the first time. And the only thing I can kind of compare that to is the first time as a 8-9-year-old kid that I heard Eruption from Eddie Van Halen. When I heard it, I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Like, there's no way that's a guitar. There's no way. Or the dude's got an extra finger somewhere, who knows. Right. But and I really believed that because I didn't know, and it's a talk about being an innovator on the instrument, you know. But what I would give to be able to hear Jimi Hendrix for the first time like that, because the guitar players I listened to through osmosis had already been influenced by some of these people. Right. So when I did hear Jimmy, and I did go through a Jimmy phase, when I went through that phase, I could hear.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it wasn't like the first time.
Well, see, in growing up in that era, I'm kind of, and now I work in radio, but radio was the only gatekeeper of the music out there. So they only played the hits. But there was so much stuff that I later discovered that I was going, holy crap. But we never heard that on the radio because it wasn't a hit. It wasn't a commercial song that you could hear, but you were going, it was still great music.
Correct.
So to that end, I enjoyed growing up in that era and hearing all these guys. And the rumors are that, all the English guitar players, the Claptons of the world, the Pages of the world, were scared,
of Hendrix,
shitless of Hendrix.
Yeah, especially Clapton.
I heard that. Yeah, man. I mean, I can't imagine.
Yeah. Another guitar player here, Gilbert, as far as guitar playing, do you have somebody that you say you'd pattern your guitar playing after, or like Chris, you pretty much bits and pieces.
Yes,
from
bits and
everybody.
pieces.
Yeah.
Your voice is any guitar player, and Chris is going to agree. You grab from here and from here and from here, and all those different textures or sounds. That's your sound. All these different influences.
Correct.
That come before you or that you like, that you try to copy, that you try to emulate. All those put together makes your sound.
Right.
Yeah. But I think I'm a little older than Chris, but me in the
Yeah, a
beginning.
couple of years.
What?
I'm a little older.
Yeah, a little.
Couple of years. You had a birthday a couple of weeks ago, so yeah, you're a little bit older. Yeah.
But yeah, to me, the Beatles. That's where I started, man.
Yeah.
With that stuff, and
That's right. Yeah, we did talk about
But later on, the Santana guy, yes.
Yeah.
When I was in middle school there, all of a sudden, hey, there's a Chicano guitar player.
Right.
Every Chicano guitar player wanted to be this guy.
Yeah.
But until today, it's very much a influence on my playing also.
Yeah. Well, Carlos, you're right, is been a big influence. First, he's Latino. Second of all, he's an amazing guitar player. So yeah, I can see him influencing a lot of you guys. When it comes to all right, I'm going to do Mico Rodriguez rapid fire questions. Give me the first thing that pops into your song.
Oh, man.
Favorite Selena song?
Las Cadenas.
Okay. Favorite song to cover?
Óyeme, amor.
Okay.
Really? Yeah. That's fighting words right there. All right. Okay.
Favorite junk food after the gig?
Starburst. Starburst for sure.
Same question. Favorite junk food?
Tacos.
Tacos?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Okay. From
Right
the
off the
taco
bat.
truck parked outside the club,
Parked
huh?
outside, yeah.
Okay.
Outside Madison Avenue. The
Yeah.
tacos were right there.
Best gig you've ever performed that you walked away and you're going, damn, I can't believe I played this gig.
I would say the first Fiesta de la Flor Selena Festival in Corpus.
Wow.
That's a good one.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Same thing. for
Besame
you.
Mucho Festival.
Really?
Over 100,000 people.
Yeah, and it was amazing. And I remember commenting on some guy's Facebook page, and they say Tejano's dead. I said, okay, sir, no disrespect, but there was only actual two Tejano bands that played there, okay?
You're so right. Who told
Everybody
you
else-
that? Who told you that way?
It was one of my listeners that posted, and they say Tejano's dead, and he had pictures of that big festival.
Bobby Pulido
and-
called me. He called me and he says, Carlitos, you do know that we were the only two Tejanos. And I was like, I never really thought about it like that. I mean, I was the most nervous person on that day.
Yeah.
I mean, in that video, Volaré, Chris comes up to me to talk to me. Because I was just like...
Get his head in the game.
Like, I was just
You gotta get your
like...
head in the game.
we talk about, well, if I had that opportunity, we would... No. When you get that opportunity, you're going to be shitting bricks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Chris is like, yo... We're here. We
Calmao.
got it. I got your back. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I'm not taking anything away from it. It's a great event.
Yeah.
It showed the powers that be, the numbers that Latinos have in this country if we're united. Obviously, it was a festival. There was some indulging, all kinds of indulging, I'm sure. But nonetheless, we're strong in numbers.
Yeah.
But that showed it. But the only comment I made to him, I said, don't get yourself distracted. There was only two bands from Texas, two
That's
Tejano
right.
bands, okay?
And I'm proud to be one of them.
And only one actually does música tejana, okay? The other guys, I love them, but I mean, come on. But look, facts are facts.
Wait a minute. Didn't Frontera?
Yeah.
Yeah, Frontera.
Yeah, they were there.
Yeah.
But they
What
got
are
the
they?
most shitty
Well, they're from
review.
Texas. Yeah, they're from
They
Texas,
got the most
yeah.
shitty review. Because the equipment it sounded like crap.
Yeah. So, you're right. I forgot there was three. Yeah. But at that point, I don't think Frontera, were they the first day or the second day? I forget.
No, it was only one day. It was
It's
only one day.
Okay.
And
I did see the negative comments about the sound. And
yeah,
how
it was really bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad. I mean, as big as the festival that it is, it's not as easy to just go to one stage to another.
No.
Like, it's not. Like, I stayed the entire day. Like, I got to see Juanes. I got to see La Ley. I saw everybody Ramon Ayala. I got to see Los Tigres. Like, and it was tiresome. But I wanted to see what it was all about.
By the way, Juan is a pretty good guitar player, man.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
We do a couple of tunes. Like,
Yeah.
We do a lot of Juanes.
Sometimes we'll pull them out.
Yeah, he's a pretty good little guitar player.
Yeah. It's awesome to be a part of that scene. And doing Besame Mucho was a full circle.
Yeah.
Because we were on the stage of all the bands that we had to learn the songs that we did for Planeta Mexico.
Now, I got another little video here.
Oh,
Has
yeah.
nothing to do with metal.
Yeah.
But when I started in radio, I was in this talk radio station. And it was my final day, and the son of the program director pulled something on me. Every talk radio station, first thing you do at 5 o'clock in the morning, you play the national anthem. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, he messed with me, and the cart wasn't cued, so I had like 10 seconds of dead air, and I said, "Oh, okay, I see what's going on here." So I brought my Hendrix DVD or CD where Hendrix does the Star Spangled Banner, and I recorded over that Hendrix Star Spangled Banner. And I cannot imagine 80 and 85-year-old people, old people, waking up to Hendrix doing the Star Spangled Banner. But he called me and he was, bitching me out. Well, I was like, "Hey, man, you want to play? Okay, let's play." But nonetheless, this is Chris Perez during a sound check, and he played the national anthem at this boxing match.
Yeah, we just did it for the Texans.
Okay,
Tell them who recorded it, Chris.
That was just sound check.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris has left the building.
Yeah. Do you see why I'm the luckiest guy in the world?
And so, Gilbert, you said you actually recorded that?
Yes,
Yeah, he did.
that particular day.
You were running sound, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It was a boxing event. What was that, Chris?
Yeah, it was a boxing event. And you know what? Like, if I'm being honest, it's always cool to, because I do a lot of events like this or whatever, the Star Spangled Banners or just whatever, and I don't know a lot of people there. I'm always to myself. I'm not like this one right here who's Mr. Social Butterfly.
Mr.
Right?
Social Butterfly.
So for me, it's always good. Like when I saw Gilbert there, I was just like, like
Somebody
I kind
I
of
know.
felt like, like
friendly
somebody has
face.
my back,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. So, and if I'm not mistaken, you also did this at Houston Texans game.
Yeah,
this
we've
year.
done it there. I've done it for the Dallas
Traitor.
Mavericks.
Okay.
I know, right? I know. But you know what? I will say this. Being a Dallas Cowboys fan, yes, I am. And I know it's hard for us fans right now. But I will say this. The Texans organization was amazing.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, I mean, they wanted me there and they treated me really well, and I had a great time.
Yeah.
So, we've done it. I've done it for the Texans. We did it here. It's been the only thing that is we'll never be able to do it for the Cowboys. You know why?
Why?
Because they don't have their Star Spangled Banner is a trumpet player every time. It's like a military guy. So
let's make a petition to have Chris Perez.
No, don't listen
Trust
to
me,
him.
most Cowboy fans want a petition to make the team watchable again, okay? They want a winning team, okay?
Yeah, these last seasons
They could
have been
give
hard.
two flips about who does the Star Spangled Banner. They want a winning team on the field.
Oh, you know
what? It's a goal of mine because Manaz, the first Latinos to be inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of
Not
Fame.
yet. They're nominated.
Okay,
This year, is
They're
it
nominated. They're nominated.
Nominated?
Well,
Okay.
I mean, hey, I think it's a good chance.
Is
So
it for this year?
I
The
think
upcoming one, yeah.
Okay.
the upcoming. So
But they're
hopefully-
they're nominated to be inducted.
Okay, so
I
they
don't
still
know
have
that
to get
first-
Well,
voted in?
I'm
Yeah.
putting it out in the universe. I'm putting it out there. If they do, they'll be the first.
Yeah.
So I'm putting out there in the universe to have Chris play the Star Spangled Banner for the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah, they need a whole new owner. And a whole
And
new
that's
way of
it.
doing
That's all I
things.
want. That's it. And then we're
Yeah.
done. We're done.
Well, and it's probably going to be, for you, better than sex, okay?
I'll be like, we'd probably win the Super Bowl that year.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Like that already. Okay.
No, and you know what? On that note, like I've seen a lot of people because there's a lot of bashing of that team, right, of the Cowboys on social media or whatever.
It's not so much them. It's Jerry Jones because
100%.
people are right. As long as he has the reins and he thinks he knows everything about... Dude, the guy's the best, the world's greatest marketer.
Yeah.
He took this team and now they're worth like, I don't know, $1.6 billion. They're the richest sports franchise in the world.
Yeah.
Really.
You know? And he took them from where he took them to that.
Yeah.
But come on, Jerry.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know football, brother. I mean,
That's
you know a
right.
little bit of football, but, you know,
I agree with you 100%.
Jimmy
I
Johnson knew football.
Right.
Yeah, I still like watching that dude on Fox.
How about
or
them
whatever.
Cowboys?
Yeah, but and then there's been some, people are curious out there like, hey, was Selena even a, I'm like, dude, Selena was a big Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. There was when it was Aikman and Emmitt Smith and Michael Irving. That was when she was still alive, and we would go specifically during the playoffs. We would have gigs. Like I remember one time in Victoria, Texas, and the Cowboys were having a playoff game, and like we're not staying in the bus. We went and got, everybody else stayed in the bus for a minute, and then we went and got a room so we can watch the game.
Right.
And we're in there watching the game, and then one by one, here comes. It's Joe. Hey, can I watch a game in here with you guys? And then it's Rick. Hey, I'm bored in the bus. Can we watch a game in here? Next thing you know, we're having pre-shows. Good memories, but she was definitely a Cowboys fan.
You know what I've seen recently here, and it looks to me that, here recently, you and the Quintanilla family, man, you've all, gotten back to where you're all good 100% with each other.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's great. Because I think that speaks volumes of you, of them. Let bygones be bygones. This is a family venture. It's And I still go back, and people that think that Mr. Q is just a money-hungry guy. I'm like, you know what? The Elvis estate, the Jim Morrison estate, the
Prince.
Hendrix estate, all of them, Prince, they guard their estate. They make sure that the likeness and the voice and everything is protected, because before you know it, everybody will be using it. Does that make him greedy? No, that makes him protective of something they built that they were a part of. So
it's bigger than that, though.
Yeah.
Because the aspect that doesn't get talked about is, yes, the protecting the trademarks, copyrights, all that kind of stuff, the image, the likeness. That's very important. But the other side of it is, had he not, and I'm pretty sure this was, we were all going through it when she first passed away,
Right.
In our own way. Some in more constructive ways, some of us in more constructive ways than others.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say his was the most constructive. Like, his way of dealing was to keep her memory. Had it not been for him,
right.
I don't think she'd be where she is right now, and that's because he just wanted to keep her out there, keep her relevant. Her her memory, her music, all that stuff.
Top 5 all-time Latinas that's still selling music.
I
right?
mean, he's the reason. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people might not be ready to hear that, or they might have a different opinion or whatever. And I don't think I really want to argue with anybody over that fact.
Numbers
I know
don't
what
lie,
I
though.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what I know, and if he is the reason.
Right.
That because when everybody went into their cocoon or their shell and to hide and to lick their wounds and to try to figure out what's the next thing, he was there at Q Productions before it was what it is now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Pushing for it, fighting for it, getting these HEB deals and bags and with her on it, and then the movie.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's because of him. Imagine wiping all that out because he didn't do it. Imagine he went into a hole and hid, or into a cocoon and just didn't want to deal with it. It was too hard, too difficult. But lucky for the world, that was one of his ways of coping with it. You know what I mean? And I know I'm grateful for it. I know Suzette's grateful for it. I know AB's grateful for it. I mean, we've all benefited from the sacrifices that he's made.
I just think that it's important that 30 years later, she's still, somebody that young Latinas can be proud of and say, that's my hero right there. They look up to her. You hear these young artists, when they come to San Antonio, they do a Selena song because they realize how important it is, not only to them, but to the people that went to see them. And if you're from San Antonio or Texas, it is what it is. Kind of like, if you play country music, you got to have a fiddle in the band.
Yeah.
If you play here, if you're female and she meant something to you, you're going to do a Selena song.
Yeah, and it's an understatement to say, they were inspired by her. We're talking about them having full-on emotional breakdowns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When they see Suzette or meet Suzette, and oh my God, your sister, and she tells me these stories, and I'm just like, wow, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, that band was you look at all of them.
Yeah,
they were meant to be together.
So
it's like New Edition. It's like what you see of Motley Crue. They just, it was just something magical, but you don't think of it at that moment.
So true story, station I was with, KXTN, I was still there. We had our 25th anniversary show at the Freeman Coliseum. Place was sold out. Gilbert was our ringleader. He brought all the members. He had the band. He hired the band. They rehearsed, and everybody that did anything for Tejano got up there and sang, was it 2 or 3 songs, Gilbert? 3 songs?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And when it came, and I was like, so how do we do this, man? Because Tejano and KXTN would have not gotten to where they are without Selena. But she's not here, so how do we do it? Mr. Smarty Pants over there says...
Not Gilbert.
Yeah, he says, let's go talk to Mr. Q. I said, and? They have to have videos of her doing shows. We'll do what, the people do when they pay tribute to Elvis, have a click track. And we'll get on there and we'll play the instruments live. And, Selena's voice was live at the Freeman Coliseum. And I was like, whoa, we can do that? He's going, yeah. So obviously, did you attend that meeting, Gilbert? I don't remember. Okay, so Gilbert
we drove down there,
and our production, our promotion director, they all went out there and we asked, and he was all for it, Mr. Q. Yeah. And to me, standing after I did the main introduction, then we kept bringing in the vocalists and boom, 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 Emilio, all of them, Roberto Pulido, and then when it came for Selena's, she came up on the screen and waving, walking on stage. The music starts, her voice starts. Pita Studio's right there doing his dance moves and doing the backup vocals. It was surreal you had people waving at a video screen and she was waving back. And I was blown away because to me, I was like, holy crap, still that power to just bring in people to the party. And it was just a video of her, And I don't know about you, Gilbert, but I was like, whoa, I really got kind of emotional. And I know AB got emotional. because really it was just so surreal to see, man, that people waving at the screen.
Yeah, I mean, to see the new generation, the little kids, to be dressing up like her and Chris for Halloween. You know, I mean, Kim Kardashian, Drake. I mean, like the list just goes on and on. I'll never forget when we were in LA, and of course things were different at that time, and we were there for the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and myself and Chris showed up. I went to go get our credentials, and when I walked in, I bumped into Katy Perry. Like I bumped into her and I'm like, oh shit.
When you walk, it was a capital EMI.
Yeah,
building.
it was capital EMI. And I walked in and I bumped into her. And she was wearing a cap. She had a trench coat on. She was trying to be, you know, she didn't want nobody recognizing her or whatever. But I saw her, I was like, oh shit. And so then I told Chris, I said, man, you're not gonna believe who I ran into, right? So I go in there, I give him his credentials, and I'm just there. And the next thing you know, and then she's like, I walk back out. She goes, can you take my picture? Because the wax figure was there.
The Selena
and she
wax
goes,
figure.
can I, will you take my picture of me next to her? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. But I'm there freaking out like, man, Katy Perry wants to take a picture next to Selena. Yeah. And she started talking to me and she was just like, wow, like what an impact. And I'm like, all I could think to myself was like, she never like saw her in her prime or whatever it was. And so I was just amazed looking at Katy Perry for the success that she had, that she was paying homage and looking at this wax figure.
Yeah.
Like if she was there today, that I was just like, wow.
Just fanning over, being a fan.
Yeah, I mean, my cool. God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just, and again, I never could see what she was looking at.
Yeah.
Because she was just a homegirl.
Well, see, and to me, you know, I didn't know her, obviously, like you guys did, but I mean, to me, just the fact that those people, and I mean, everybody was waving at that screen. I was thinking to myself, they do realize it's a screen, right? But everybody got caught up in the moment because it was her voice singing, you know. And Gilbert did a great job, man, leading that band. What did they do, Gilbert? 2 songs?
Gosh, I don't remember. It was a big show. That was just one component of the whole show.
Yeah.
But you know what, Johnny? There's no video of that. No, there was nobody there. That was before the cell phone thing there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was before cell phones, social media.
Yeah.
So you kind of had to be there. And to me, that was the big, I was like, cool. I was so, to be a part of that and just to witness it, I was like, whoa, you know, I was just blown away, man.
I mean, little do people know, like I have, we did a show with her in Market Hall in Dallas, Texas. Mm-hmm. And every time we pass that or we do the state fair or whatever it is. And
the state fair was large, dude, when her and Emilio did it.
Yeah.
It was, man, you know, excuse the phrase, but a good friend of mine uses it was elbows and assholes, man. It was back wall to wall. You could not walk. You pretty much had to just, you know, get shoved along with the crowd of the people. It was wall to wall.
You know, and she did the local station, you know, of Dallas and whatever. And I have the recording because they asked her, well, you know, where are you going to be at tonight? We're going to be at the Market Hall. And she names all the bands. And she's like, and not only that, you're going to see Carlos Miranda Jr., su Grupo Metal.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. And I was just like, wow. I mean, I have it. And I've shown Chris, you know, I would like to open up the show like that. Like, and she was just like, you're going to have a great time. Just, you know. And well, the interviews that we've done, and they've asked Chris, what would she say, you know, about metal, like what y'all are doing? He's like, oh, what we're doing now? Yeah. He's like, oh, she'd love it. And I'm like, hell yeah, she would love it. Like, she was just a big supporter. She was just a very natural person all across the board that would support anything and everything, you know. And that's the beautiful thing to say that, you know, that's who she was as a person. Yeah, 100%.
Whatever the it factor is, she had the it factor. 100, 1,000%.
And you know, to say another thing about it, and I'm going to say it like this, because in the LA Times interview, I was like, the reason the color red is my favorite color, she's the one who brought that to my attention. And I'll never forget it because we're in the bus and she was with all these hot chicks. She had like 8 chicks. And she's like, they're like, Selena wants to talk to you. And I went back there and I'm by myself and I'm around 8 hot chicks. And Selena was like, you know, red brings out the best out of you and it's whatever. I'll never forget it. So like when people ask me like, what's your favorite color? I'm like, it's red.
Yeah.
You know, all the way, all across the board.
Yeah, well, if she were here now, she would say, shave that ugly beard.
I don't know if she would.
We already got one Bocephus, man.
He's already clean shaven. So it's like, it's already, you know.
Nah, I'm just messing. Guys, it really has been an honor. Something that I didn't ask you, Chris, that you wish I would have asked. Knock yourself out, brother.
Dude, look, I feel like just having a conversation with you is a good time. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel very contrived and worked out like some interviews might. So I'm just happy that, and plus I'm happy to be in town and I get to hang with you guys. You know, I haven't seen Gilbert for a minute.
And we get to taste your wine, dude. Damn,
That
Skippy.
too. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I really can't, I can't think of anything you didn't touch on. You touched on the guitar stuff, the music stuff, the kids even.
You still got the Selena guitar?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no.
Oh, I know what I want to ask you. Favorite present Selena gifted you that you still have and love and still looks as good as it did back then?
I consider, man, look.
Tell me it's got 4 wheels and a motor.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah. No, dude, I still have that.
The pickup?
You have to see it.
Yeah.
It is
I saw that in a picture and I was like, I wonder if that's an old picture or a new picture.
No. Just I had some upkeep done to it, right? Whatever. I got that thing back and I was driving and we had people with the cameras or whatever, like following to get it, like document it. And I looked back at it and I'm like, I look like a fool because I'm driving the truck and I'm like this. Like just I couldn't stop smiling.
De oreja a oreja, una risa.
Back.
There you go.
No, man, it's
What year?
93.
What's it got under the hood?
It's a 5.7 liter.
Oh, damn, Skippy.
Yeah. No, it's a gas guzzler. I will say that it's a gas guzzler, but I love it.
Yeah.
I would never get rid of it. It has the Corvette Z1 roll pan in the back that looks like the Corvette lights. The back lights are covered up with a metal. Plus, I have those chrome roll bars. I mean, everything is still.
It's original.
The interior is still the original interior.
Yeah.
But got some custom features.
Yeah.
The lights,
no, and I remember,
motor,
I remember, because see, what a lot of people don't know is that red Porsche that she's known for. That was my car. I bought that car. She had a black 968.
Oh.
968.
Oh,
no, the 911 is the red one. She had a 968 black Porsche. Look it up. It's one of the more modern ones back in the day.
Right.
Whatever. So she had that one, but she loved the red one that I had.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if you get rid of the black one, I'll give you the red one. But I need to get a truck because we had all the dogs and every now and again I wanted to move my guitar equipment from here to there, whatever. And so she's like, all right. That's all she needed to hear. So we went looking at trucks, and I still remember taking that exact truck that I own now for a test drive, and I'm driving it. She's sitting in the middle, and then the sales guy is sitting over there, and she's like all up on me. We're hitting all the buttons of everything, and it was just it's a great memory that I have. And then, we went back to the dealership, put it away, and I was like, yeah. She's like, let's get it. I'm like, no. Let me think about, we got to try some other ones out. But I knew that was the one.
Did you get the price down?
I don't remember it.
No.
I don't remember it. But then we left, and then it was our anniversary. Our first wedding anniversary was coming up, and then AB came over to the house because it was going to be next door at Abraham's house, the big party. And AB comes over to the house, and he comes in, and he's like, hey, can you go to the store with me? And I said, okay, I'll go. What do you need? He's like, oh, I need to get some gum. And I'm thinking, that is all right, I'll go with you. So we're taking off. We back out of his driveway. We're going up the street, and I see the truck turn the corner. They didn't time it right.
Oh.
And I saw it, and I was like, yo. And he goes, what? And he takes off real fast. And I go, that looks like the truck we just test drove the other day.
They
He
were
goes,
supposed
no.
to park the truck while you were gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, no, whatever. And we went to the store, and we came back, and she was like, surprise, the truck was there. You know?
It's a hell of a surprise.
You know,
Yeah.
one thing that I could say about that black Porsche, Chris left somewhere, and Selena she wanted me to go, you know, she wanted some eggs. And I said, I don't have a car. And she says, take the Porsche. And she threw the keys. Mm-hmm. And when I see the keys, all I can think about is the Motley Crue Kickstart My Heart. Wah, wah, wah. And I get the keys, and I'm like, holy shit. You know, I'm like, I've never, you know, BMW, Porsche, I've never had an experience of that. Mm-hmm. And he was not there. But she was so like, just take the car. Like, no big deal. I'm like, no big deal. Like, are you kidding
Porsche.
me? It's a Porsche.
It's not a Ford
drive
or a
it?
Pontiac.
No, but did he say anything? Hell no.
No,
He
I
took the
took
keys
it.
and
I
ran.
went and got the eggs. I'm like, what? Great memories, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that just shows what kind of person she was.
Yeah.
Like, none of that mattered, you know? And I mean, I'm the luckiest guy. I'm the luckiest guy to be his boy, to be a part of that. The Quintanilla, Suzette, like AB, all of them, man. Like, they didn't have to do what they did.
Yeah.
They didn't have to. And I'm very blessed to be a part of that.
Same question to you. Is there something I didn't ask that you wish I would have asked?
You know what, Johnny? The one thing I want to say to you, man, is thank you for being the biggest supporter that you've been for me, my dad, Metal, everything across the board. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's kind of like people say, what's the best burger in your eyes? For me, it's easy, Whataburger. Because it don't matter if I'm in McAllen, in San Antonio, in Corpus, they all taste the same, dude.
Yeah.
Double meat, double cheese.
Yeah.
You know, slice the jalapenos, some onions in there, and I'm good to go,
Yeah, man.
baby.
You know what? I wish there was more of you across the board.
Well, you know, man, and Gilbert knows this. A good song is a good song is a good song. 50 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 minutes ago, if it's a good song, it's always a good song.
Yeah, but you've always been that guy that put the fire under my ass. You're like, what the fuck are you waiting for, man? Let's go.
I didn't actually use a, well, I did, okay? Because we weren't on the radio.
Yeah.
But listen, guys, it's been an honor.
Man, likewise.
Continued success. Folks, and Albert, if we could just kind of zoom in on the bottles of wine. Once again, this is Chris Perez's wine, and it's 2023, what do you call it?
It's a
Red blend.
It's a red blend.
All right.
Yeah.
2023 Red Blend will be available at a liquor store near you. I suggest you look it up. It is some good wine. It doesn't taste, I mean, yeah, it doesn't have a corkscrew, but that doesn't make it a, Boone's Farm or Mad Dog.
No, it's really good.
It really is good wine. You'll like it with your steak. You'll like it with whatever. So, go out there and get it. And why not? Might as well start hitting up that hot sauce as well.
Amen to that.
Sure.
Amen to that.
And folks, I want you to hit Chris Perez up on his social media. I've asked him, as a personal favor, to do the Selena book in audio file, in audio
put it
form.
out there like that.
In
So
audio
now we really
form,
got to do it.
just like that. I kind of surprised him with that. But the Selena book, such a good book. But if I heard Chris reading it to me while I'm driving down
I'm
to
on the
valley,
phone right now.
While it's a 3.5 hour drive to the valley, and Chris Perez is reading the book that he wrote, I think would be the cherry on top of the sundae.
My goodness.
Because it just adds so
I'll think
much.
about it for sure, Johnny.
It adds so much more validity to your words. Not that your words alone don't stand, strong enough, but coming from you is kind of like this conversation I just had with both of you, and it's you telling me the story. It's not me reading it. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me.
Yeah. For some of us idiots that fall asleep sometimes when we're reading and the read is boring, when somebody is reading it to me, I'm like, okay, I can handle this. So that's it. If you could hit him up on his social media and just make sure that sometime between now.
Yeah, convince me to do it.
Sometime between now and.
I haven't even been able to convince him.
We need an audio book. Was it To Selena with Love, right?
Yes.
To Selena with Love, the audio book would be just icing
With
on
Chris
the cake.
Perez's voice.
Yep. And all you got to do is just read it like you're reading, brother.
Okay.
Come on, you used to read in school. You used to hate it like I did.
Hate it, yeah.
Yeah, we all did, but it is what it is. But thank you again, guys. I appreciate it. Sinceramente, gracias. Continued
Johnny.
success in all
Thank
your
you,
endeavors,
Johnny.
whether it's making wine, drinking wine.
Making hot sauce,
Yeah.
whatever. Hey, man, continue to follow the Radio Guys podcast with Mico and Johnny all the way. I love you, Johnny. Thank
We love
man.
you guys, and sinceramente gracias. Again, it's a service of AA Best Bail Bonds brought to you. Yep, they bring you the podcast. AA
We might
Best
need
Bail
that
Bonds.
tonight.
Well, and if anybody needs our good friend Albert, or compadre Albert, and his great staff, 210-225-2121. Make sure you call them 24/7, night or day. They'll get you out, whether it's in San Antonio, anywhere in the Lone Star State and beyond, 210-225-2121. Don't do what a lot of people do. Let me put the number in the smartphone, because if you're in the holding cell, you don't have access to your smartphone. So memorize the number, 210-225-2121. AA Best Bail Bonds, nobody beats her price. Payment plans available. They have a shuttle, and yes, discretion, the name of the game. No need to see an attorney. Don't sign a PR bond. Just dial the number, 210-225-2121. License number 149. Tell them you heard it right here on the Radio Guys podcast. That's 210-225-2121. And again, guys, I'll give you a few minutes para que se despidan. And just really was a treat to have you guys here, sinceramente.
No, thank you, Johnny, man. Thank you for the opportunity to be here on your podcast. If anybody want to follow Official Grupo Metal, that's on all our social media. Chris Perez Now, on all his social media. Follow us both. Everything that we do, we're somos familia.
Any
So,
gigs you're playing here?
we will be here on May 1st for the Fred Stock.
Okay.
For the San Antonio College.
Okay.
We will be headlining, and that's the only thing that we have here in the state of Texas.
No Fiesta
And then-
events?
No, well, that's the end of Fiesta.
Oh, okay.
So
All
it's
right.
like the end of it.
The official end of Fiesta.
The official end of it, and then we're in Vegas for Tacos and Tequila Festival. We'll be in Las Vegas.
Two things I love. All right, Chris.
Oh, yeah, no. Again, thank you for everything. We are on the wine front. We are trying to set up some events here in the Texas area.
Give us a heads up, man. Text me, and I'll promote it on the radio,
Okay.
on the podcast.
Yeah,
whatever, man.
so that way everybody can,
Yeah, we're
whoever
doing
wants
Houston,
to try it out will
Dallas,
be able
and
to
San
get a
Antonio.
chance.
We're
Yeah.
doing Houston and Dallas and San Antonio.
Yeah.
And we'll also be at the Besame Mucho Festival.
And by the way, if you do buy a couple of bottles and, maybe you can convince Chris to autograph them, I'm sure he'd be willing to, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure, for
Uh-huh.
sure.
We have many packages.
People always, like a lot of people show up with stacks of things, to sign. And
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with any of that. So
All right.
bring it all.
Don't say that.
See, he gets mad though.
No, don't say that.
like-
No, we have 3 packages only that you can purchase.
All right, sometimes managers just suck, okay? Not everybody like Colonel Parker, okay?
Hey, I'm that guy. I'm that guy. I'm that guy.
All right. Guys, again, continued
Thank you,
success.
Johnny.
We wish you nothing but the best. And thank you all for tuning in. Next Monday, Bright Eyed and Bushy Tail. Maybe not Bright Eyed, but definitely Bushy Tail, 7 o'clock right here. Our sinceramente gracias to Gilbert Escobedo, the executive producer of the Radio Guys
Gilbert
podcast.
Escobedo, come on, man.
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
we're
dude.
doing
My
Who's
bad.
here?
Gilbert Velasquez, my
Gilbert
bad.
Velasquez.
My
Two of us
apologies. Now I
would
have
let
to
him
go over
read.
there and suck up to him. Gilbert Velasquez, 16-time Grammy Award winning from the Velasquez
Damn, I knew it
Music
was 16
Studios.
times.
Okay, 16 times, dude. And of course,
I don't believe it.
Our technical engineer, Albert Velasquez, and our social butterfly, Lexi Rodriguez. Thank you all. Have a great night, and go out and celebrate DLG's birthday at Thirsty Horse on Sunday. Cool?
Amen. I'll be there.
Good.
Just like me, it's all a part of Texas. coming through the airwaves loud and clear. Like the feel of my Harley on the highway. It's what I live for, it's why I'm here. They call me the radio guy. I play Tejano music, it's my high. Plus I'll be punching buttons till I die. They call me the radio guy. And I'll be spinning records till I die. They call me the radio guy. No, que no tronabas pistolita, el Jonny with David Lee.
The Radio Guys podcast was powered by AA Best Bail Bonds at 210-225-2121. Stress-free bail bonds 24/7, 365 anywhere in San Antonio. 210-225-2121.